ready for
Hello.
another roller coaster ride of an episode?
Yes, I'm officially tall enough to ride.
We're officially tall enough to ride the episode 3, Bay of Married Pigs. We're finally old enough to join the petting zoo.
Yes.
I love it, yeah. Going through and like figuring out the things that we want to talk about this episode, I was like, oh, do I secretly love this episode? So I'm
I'm
excited.
hoping to convert you because I do love this episode.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's what happens like watching episode 2 and then immediately going into episode 3. I'm like, God, I have a bad taste in my mouth from episode 2.
Yeah. Yeah, that's rough. I'm glad we've had time between recordings. So hopefully we've had a breather.
Exactly. Well, welcome back, everyone. This is the Say in the City podcast, where we are chatting about every fabulous episode of Sex in the City, bringing our own perspectives to the highs, lows, and everything in between. So grab a cosmopolitan, get comfortable, and let's deep dive into the world of Carrie, Charlotte, Miranda, and Samantha, one episode at a time. Once again, I am your host, Ceyoncé, but you can call me Say. My guest today is once again my favorite ginger, Mariah. Thank you so much for being here for the third episode in a row. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. You know what they say? Third time's the charming one.
I love that. Third time's not a charm, it's the charm.
The charming one.
I love that. So, yes, today we are talking about the third episode called Bay of Married Pigs. It was directed by the Oscar nominated Nicole Holofcener. She has directed Enough Said, Friends with Money, but she also did an episode of Gilmore Girls. Now, have you seen any of Holofcener's work?
The only thing I've seen out of that list is that episode of Gilmore Girls, and I do really like that episode. It's also a chaotic episode. So the fact that you bring that up, I'm like, yes, I can see the similarities now.
And that is so funny. Yeah, I've seen Friends with Money. It's been a very long time since I've seen it. It also is very focused on like things happening very quickly and definitely like a lot of dialogue, a lot of people just like being together and trying to get through all of that stuff. So I totally get it.
Yeah, and that's how that episode of Gilmore Girls is. That episode is the famous scene of Lorelai stepping out onto her porch, and she's just like, observing the birds. She's like, I think she probably has some coffee in her hands, and then her foot goes straight through the porch.
Yeah,
It's very
that,
that energy. That seems to
yeah,
be her style.
exactly. Yeah, because that's the first scene, right? That
Mhm.
episode.
Mhm. Yeah, it's the episode where they have termites, and you've got everything in there from Suki's husband having the wrestling pajamas on to both Rory and Lorelai getting called out on their BS, which doesn't happen often.
Not
That's the
often.
one where Lane joins the cheerleading squad. It's just a lot. It's a lot in one episode.
Exactly, yeah. And I think like I remember that episode because it's season 2, episode 11, Secrets and Loans. And I remember Lorelai and Emily going to the bank and Lorelai trying to be like, "Oh, just give me money." And Emily's
Yeah,
looking at her
Lorelai
like,
being really unrealistic about how to get a loan and thinking that her good attitude will get her everything.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and I love that like they both it's all of the mother daughters calling each other out just the whole episode.
Yeah, exactly. Because Lorelai calls Rory out for
Not believing
reaching
it.
out for help.
Yeah,
And also, because Lorelai has the great line, she's like, "Have you ever wanted for anything? No, then you have to trust that I'm going to have to get things done." And it's like, yeah, that's true. But also, you were pretty unrealistic about how you were going to get this money. So she had to trust her mother too, that episode.
Exactly. Yeah. So I love that, and I think that's why I started to like develop more of a love for this episode once again. And I started thinking about like talking points because I was like, they a lot of things happen in this episode, and it's kind of like that trust the women to make good decisions by the end of it kind of thing. Do they? We'll see. But this is also the first episode written by future showrunner Michael Patrick King. So he's done AJ and the Queen, The Comeback, Two Broke Girls. Are you a fan of MPK outside of Sex and the City?
I'm going to say I haven't probably given any of his work a proper chance.
Mm.
Because I haven't seen very much of this, except I've seen a little bit of AJ and the Queen, and I've seen some episodes here and there of Two Broke Girls. And Two Broke Girls just felt a little too cheesy for me. It just didn't connect, and I don't remember why I didn't keep watching AJ and the Queen, but it didn't. I guess it just didn't connect.
I mean, one, that's very homophobic of you. Two, I think like
I'd be
they
willing to give it another chance because I just can't
yeah.
remember. I don't remember why I didn't finish after the first episode.
I mean, I do have to say the first couple of episodes are a little rough because I think that we forget sometimes that RuPaul is not exactly the best actor in the world. And so,
Yeah.
uh, and it's like a lot of fan service for Drag Race in that first episode. And like, there are a lot of Drag Race queens who come in throughout it, but like, you don't really get to the story itself until like the second or third episode, I feel like.
Okay.
So,
So give it another try is basically what I'm hearing.
exactly, yeah. And then one of my favorite TV shows outside of obviously Sex and the City and like Schitt's Creek and stuff is The Comeback with Lisa Kudrow.
Okay. And I haven't seen that. So
And I think you would love it because it starts off as like mockumentary style, almost like poke fun at all of the reality shows that were being started around the time that it started, which was in like 2005. So like Paris and Nicole had blown up. All of these reality shows were starting. And so Lisa Kudrow is like such a great parody of not just the reality show trope, but also just like actors in general, like sitcom actors specifically. And
okay.
she's a ginger in it. So you'll like that too.
Okay. I'll have to watch that one.
I love it. So we open the episode with Carrie leaving for the Hamptons, dressed like she's about to travel on a bus. How do you feel about this opening outfit?
This feels familiar, but it doesn't feel like Carrie.
Yes, right?
And in fact, it might feel familiar because this is something I would have worn in 2000. I probably would have worn something just like this, though. I was obsessed with bucket hats around this time. And then I have my favorite aunt is still obsessed with Vera Bradley.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so seeing her carry a Vera Bradley bag is a little different. Isn't that a Vera Bradley?
It is a
Or it
Vera
looks like it. It looks like it's that quilted, bright, colorful bag.
bright pattern. Like not even just
Hmm.
colorful, just the patterns.
And then this striped shirt with the cardigan or hoodie over it. Yeah, I would have absolutely worn this, but it feels
Exactly.
very childlike. Feels very my childhood like, and it doesn't feel super Carrie.
I
But
mean,
I don't hate it. It's just it doesn't feel like Carrie.
yeah, the Vera Bradley bag is just throwing me off with the entire outfit. I'm like, why does Carrie Bradshaw own a Vera Bradley bag
Yeah.
in the 90s? That that's crazy to me. I don't understand why she has the bag. Um, it's really like the first time that, and I think it's the only time that Carrie is gonna like walk around with some loud ass bag that is the size of her. Like it's a huge bag, and like I
Yeah,
get
they do
it.
have pretty good luggage. That's what I still have of my Vera Bradley stuff that I was gifted. I have a duffel bag. So yeah, honestly, this could still be me, I guess. So
I love it. I'm like, this is a very you
Because I
outfit.
will say it's like durable stuff, and it's very washable and practical. But
Yeah,
which one of those words sounded like Carrie?
exactly. None of them. Not a one. I love that. So Carrie stays with her friends, Patience and Peter. Over dinner, she tells them a spicy story in order to, quote, sing for her supper. She narrates that these types of stories are required for Hampton's house guests. Brokers give investment advice, architects design advice. Single people give married friends tidbits of their sexual escapades. Do you feel like you've ever had to sing for your dinner?
That's such an interesting question. And as it's presented in the show, no. And I think it's because I like my friends.
Mm,
'Cause Carrie really doesn't like any of her friends season one, I'm seeing. She has that line that if their house wasn't on the beach, I would have hated them. It's like, okay, so you hate them. Uh, you like their house, is what I'm getting. And they like you because it's just very transactional. And I don't think I have friendships like that, but like doing favors and like giving professional opinions with friends all the time.
yeah.
But it's not like you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like obviously like an unspoken kind of thing. Like, oh, this is just kind of
Yeah.
like what's expected. But it's yeah, like it does still feel very transactional. And you're
Yeah.
right. It feels like she doesn't actually like any of her friends this entire season.
Yeah. It seems like she likes them for their beach house and they like her for her racy stories. So,
Exactly. Yeah. Um, and like, and I do have to say, because I was going to be like, do you require this? I mean, you definitely don't require this. I have been over
I
three.
was going to say, I've had you, I'm also the one cooking most of the time. So,
Yeah,
have I ever made you feel that way? Or have you ever felt that way?
exactly. And that's why, like, you know, I think that like the first couple of times I saw this episode, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Like, if you're in your 30s, you're all professionals and you're all trying to live your lives. And so, like, if you're gonna spend time with friends and have them over for the weekend, then it makes sense. But then I'm like, no. I think if you actually do, if you're actually close friends with someone, you're going over to enjoy each other's company.
Yeah. And something also kind of interesting is that her favor she's doing for them is to tell a good story. And I'll say that the only this did make me feel like the few times in my life I've ever had to gray rock someone. Are you familiar with gray rocking?
No, but I'm intrigued.
It's just a technique used to disengage from manipulative or toxic or abusive people where you intentionally become uninteresting and really unresponsive.
Oh my God, I don't know how to do that.
I don't either. Yeah. You just offer up as little information as possible. So somebody's like, "How was your day?" You're like, "Fine. How was yours?" And because people like you and I are so good at like telling stories and
We
we
just bring that.
enjoy talking about everything,
Yeah,
that's actually really hard to do. But the few people I've had to do that with, they do get kind of mad.
yeah.
They're like, "Where's my stories? Where's You're not going to talk
Oh,
to me
yeah,
about this? Where's?" And it's like it's a mark of why I've gray rocked these people, but it's like they think I owe them that vulnerability. And it's like, I don't actually. Uh,
yeah.
and they do get kind of mad. So that's what this reminds me of. Those are the only people who have ever really made me feel like I
Like there's
owe
something
them something.
owed.
And it's not like that I really feel like I did owe them, but they're trying to make like I owe them a good story.
Yeah,
And I don't like that dynamic.
exactly. Yeah, and like
Because
I
this isn't a
think
professional opinion. She's divulging real stories of her life. And I'm like, girl, you don't know anyone that if you don't want to.
exactly. Yeah, like you already have a sex column.
You tell them to read the
They
paper.
would be like, "Oh, you want that story? Go pick up a copy of the newspaper. keep me paid instead of keep me fed. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
So, well, okay, so before we get to what happens next, I do also have to say, um, I'm not surprised about what happens next because of Peter's reaction while she's telling the story.
Oh.
It is so creepy. He's devouring her with his eyes.
Is it Patience too though? Aren't they both kind of or
I mean, she definitely is, but she's more like, to me, and this could just be like, just because I hate men so much. It could, like, to me, it's like when you're watching like Valley of the Dolls, or I guess reading Valley of the Dolls, because
Mhm.
you're kind of incredulous while you're watching Valley of the Dolls. It's like reading Valley of the Dolls, or like watching Real Housewives. It's much more like I wanna, like, ooh, give me all the juicy details, right? It's a little
Okay.
bit more
Not
girlfriend.
like she's getting off on it and you're thinking Peter's more enjoying this a little too much?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, okay. That's
And
interesting.
yeah, so maybe that's why Peter decides the next morning to flash his Peter in front of Carrie in the hallway. Uh, what do you even do in this situation? Like, did Carrie react appropriately?
You know, I really think Carrie reacted really well all around. I think that we're really seeing some surprise. Well, at least at this point, we're seeing Carrie be very gracious because she really doesn't want to embarrass anyone by her with her
Mm.
reaction. And I'm like, that's very gracious of you because I can't say I would have reacted so poised because like even in the minute she's just like, "Okay, there it is. Okay." And then she tells Patience about it right away so that there's like absolutely no secrets here.
Yeah,
And I actually like her joke too. She says, "P.S. Congratulations." I
exactly. Yeah, I just saw it.
think that's
Yes,
hilarious.
yeah.
I really appreciate a friend because she's really lightening it. Like she
She's
is
trying to
really
like
trying to
de-escalate.
not embarrass anyone. Is really what I'm
Yeah,
trying to say, and it's like that's so gracious. Carrie's
exactly.
being a good friend here.
I think so. Yeah.
Because that's what I would be. I mean, my partner would never do something like this, but if they did, I'd be appalled and I'd be like, "How are you okay?" Like, I'd be worried about how my friend is. So I think it's just good that she did a joke to be like, "Yeah, I'm not offended, but by the way, saw your husband's saw your husband's penis in the hallway."
Yeah. Well, and that's why, like, this was a sexual assault. Like,
Yeah,
Peter's a predator. And Carrie, yeah,
yeah.
I think you're right. I think Carrie handled it really well. And I think that's why it's so important that these days, like, we're actually having these kinds of conversations. Because me, if that happened to me, I'm on my knees immediately. Uh, but now that we're having these conversations, I know that no, something bad happened to me. I am a victim here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Um,
So definitely,
and that's why it's terrible that Patience kicks her out for this. Horrible.
exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Patience does not react appropriately, but we'll come back to that since we're going to see Patience again later. So yeah, she sends Carrie home before she can grab one of the good muffins. Mariah, how come you told me about the good muffins?
Okay, I can't remember exactly what I told you, but I was like, "Oh, it's the muffin episode." And you're
I was
like,
like,
"What are
what?
you talking about?" Because I think you thought I was getting this confused with the season 2 episode where Charlotte bakes the apology muffins. But no, this is my muffin episode because in 2019 I was gifted a KitchenAid mixer for Christmas, and I was rewatching Sex in the City, and this episode came on, and I was like, the good muffins. Okay, I'm gonna go make some. Pause, made muffins, and now every time this episode comes up, I'm like, I have to make muffins.
It's like a
And,
Pavlovian response
and I
now.
always have to pause there. So this is always the part that I pause to go make muffins, and then I come back.
That's why I was like, what are you talking about, the muffin episode?
Ah,
I had no idea, and I would have no idea unless you told me,
I don't even think you mentioned the muffins in the recap because nobody thinks about that. But I'm like, oh, the good. I want some good muffins.
right? You're like, I know how to do that. And I'm able to. I got a mixer.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like an excuse at the beginning. It was just an excuse to use it at the time, but now I have to do it every time. So every
Yeah.
rewatch, this is the muffin episode.
Well, and part of me is like, I think it's hilarious that that was in 2019 because I remember you started to make sourdough, right? During
Yeah,
the COVID
yeah, I
lockdowns.
right around this time, yeah. Because I started right before 2020 happened and was kind of like, this is too much work. But then I had nothing better to do. So in in lockdown, yeah, I started sourdough baking. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So back in the city, since she gets kicked out of the Hamptons, Carrie tells the girls what happened over lunch. She said the encounter with Peter didn't feel sexual. What do you think?
This is actually where it kind of starts to get heavy, right? Because the way it was portrayed, I agree it didn't feel like he intended it to be sexual because he's just kind of acting like a big dumb clueless monkey or something. And then he really tried to play it cool when Patience confronts him, which I love her tone in confronting him. I love that she's like, "Yeah, I know you're being nice, Carrie, but did you show your penis to Carrie?" Like, I like her being nonsense. And he's like, "Oh yeah, she saw me on the way to the bathroom," and it's like, sure, sure, but his intent doesn't change the impact of what he did, and he that was an assault.
Yeah,
And my other thought is, who cares if it was sexual? Because in my opinion, sexual assault has very little to do with sex and has a lot to do with power.
yeah,
Like, I'm sure there's probably a layer of sexual gratification for the perpetrator, but I don't, yeah, the impact of the people that are the victims, yeah, it's just about control and throwing them off. So she just felt
yeah.
thrown off, and um,
Well, and like with that too, you think about the animal kingdom and what does the endowment mean when it comes to like this alpha male kind of thing, right?
yeah,
Like the deer with the biggest horns, the dumbass with the biggest dick. Like that's yeah. So like yeah, he just wants to show it off like a monkey. It's like yeah, that's literally what we're like. It's about power and not sex.
yeah, yeah, um, yeah. And I don't know the psychology of these exhibitionists, but it wouldn't surprise me if there is a sexual element for them. But I mean, good for Carrie for being able to laugh it off. And um, I was, I was thinking about any personal experiences with being flashed,
Mm.
and I have been. Um, and I was flashed super late at night on public transit, and it made me not want to take public transit late at night ever again.
A
Because I was
million
just like,
percent.
no. And
Yeah.
also, he wasn't like somebody I knew. It felt more threatening because it was a stranger and there was like touching involved, not of me, but of the member. And I was just like, this is yeah, so that felt really awful. Um and Peter didn't feel quite that awful. But then there was also, I don't know if you remember this, and I don't know why it stuck in my head, but there was a serial flasher on our campus, on our college campus. I must have been like a freshman. And I remember reading the report, and the report was so detailed and it stuck in my head. But there was a guy going around asking people, pretending to do surveys, and he had a clipboard. And I remember just how matter of factly the police report was written, too. So the contrast of how matter of factly it was written with the absurdity of the content is probably why it stuck in my head. But I remember it was like, the victim began taking a survey and then slowly started to realize the questions were sexual in nature. And just as she was getting confused, he moved the clipboard to reveal himself. And I was like, What? It just still makes me laugh.
I have
Horrible.
so many
Do you
questions.
remember this?
No, because I think it would have happened before. It was like your freshman year. It would have happened, I think,
It
before.
probably was like 2013, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
2012,
I think that would have
2013.
been. Yeah, that would have been before
Before you
I.
were on campus?
Yeah, before I started on campus.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, and like, uh, two. I mean, because you were working for the newspaper, and I was
yeah.
going to be magazine journalist, so I wasn't like reading police reports
Oh,
necessarily.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, what yeah. I've read a lot of police reports. And
Well, but that's what I think the thing is, right? About I
I
think
used to write a
our
column in Fort Collins, Colorado about the funniest police reports every week.
that's
Because I do find police reports funny, and it's again the tone. It's they're talking about ridiculous things, but they have to maintain this tone, and it kills me every time.
um but I do think like, especially you talked about it feeling more threatening. And
Yeah, yeah, and
I
that's the thing. When you read about that kind of thing, I don't know how that victim of the clipboard flasher felt. She could have felt really intimidated, and so that's not funny. But sometimes coping with things like this, laughter can
it can
help.
be funny. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
but yeah, and yeah, the light rail incidents that happened with me, I didn't find that. I mean, I did kind of find it funny after the fact,
but like funny haha or just
like
funny
funny, like what the heck? A little kind
exactly.
of how Carrie is reacting. Like I don't know how to take this in.
Yeah, but that's why
Yeah.
I think like just because it didn't feel sexual does not mean it wasn't threatening. It's about power. Like
Hmm.
yeah, what is the motivation for a flasher? It's really not sexual. It's it's their pleasure, but not in a sexual way.
Yeah, it might be sexual for them, but because it's not mutual, I have a hard time feeling like it is a sexual thing,
Exactly.
and it's a violent thing, really.
Exactly. Yeah. So, speaking of PS congratulations, they ask obviously because Samantha is Samantha. She asks how big it is. So Carrie compares it to the pepper mill that the waiter is carrying, and we get one of my favorite lines from Samantha of all time. Oh, honey, I love some fresh pepper. In fact, I think everyone at this table could use a lot of fresh pepper. So, as much as I love this line, is Samantha reacting appropriately to all of this?
I love this scene. This is one of two of my favorite lunch conversations with the girls, and both of them involve Samantha.
Mm,
The
mhm.
only the other favorite one is um
I was masturbating to the priests.
yes! It's Miranda. I've been masturbating. 'Cause Charlotte compliments. She's like, "You're glowing." She's thanks. I've been masturbating all morning to my priest. And Miranda's like, "All morning? What'd you do for the other 3 hours?" That scene's one of my favorites. But the peppermill dick is also my favorite, and I think about it on the regular almost every time I use a peppermill. And
Wait, do you have like a full size pepper mill?
I do. I have one of the unicorn ones that's like that.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I mean, because I technically have one too, but it's like,
No, I have a big proper one. That's
oh, okay. Damn, we need to trade, I think. Let me use it one.
uh, um, but out of seriousness, I think Samantha was okay to drop that joke because I don't think Carrie was deeply upset, and the laugh did them some good, did them some collective good, and also laughing at it to me helps take the power away from it too.
Oh yeah.
Like now, Peter's assault isn't even about Peter's assault; it's about them cracking up at his dick, which
Exactly. Yeah.
and like
And
what an absurd thing he did. Like what did he think he was doing?
what
Like
was
it did,
yeah.
like what was he trying to accomplish? Was he hoping that to initiate some sexual thought, because that's not really what happened. What happened is I'm going to tell all my girlfriends about this, and it's going to be make you kind of a laughing stock, and that's exactly what happens later. It makes him a laughing stock later.
Yeah,
So,
which I mean, I think most men just don't understand. Or like that's actually what happens.
and a lot of these narcissistic type
Mhm.
guys who they're not going to like that you're laughing at them.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I say, yeah, go for it. I thought it cut the tension with a knife. It also reminds me of this. This is kind of a you move, to be honest. Once you've realized I wasn't upset, you would have made a funny penis joke, and you've gotten me out of uncomfortable situations with funny penis jokes before.
Yeah,
My
exactly.
favorite one. Should I tell my favorite one?
Yes.
I tell people this story on the regular. So we were at a dance club with my partner and this other couple, um, K and A was an a hole. Luckily, they're not together anymore, thank God. But they were being kind of a kind of pretentious. Kind of is an understatement. They were being pretentious about nothing, and we just wanted them to shut up, to be honest, because he was just being ridiculous. And then he was talking about Snow White. No idea why. We're in the middle of a Latin club. Like, why are you talking about this? But he's like,
Unless it's Rachel Ziegler. Yeah.
you know what screwed up? And I don't know. I guess just like trying to tell it. I don't know. Like, what's it called when you try to virtue signal? He was like trying to virtue signal that he's not a rapist, maybe, and he, which is weird.
I promise not me.
I promise. I think rape is bad.
And I'm having to say it out loud because I know that
Makes it true.
just by
Uh,
talking to you.
ooh, I know someone else tangentially who likes to say they're a big fan of consent, and it always makes me think. I don't know anyone who says that, but anyway,
Yeah, it's like
so
I
he was
get that.
talking about Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, and apparently in the original story, um, Snow White is not kissed awake, but rather fucked awake
Yeah.
because from choking on the apple. And it's like, yeah, that's how the apple's dislodged. It's not from kissing, it's from fucking. She's raped. And you broke the tension and ended that conversation by going, was his penis really that big? Can you imagine being able to get to her throat from her vagina? Favorite memory. Oh, it was so funny, and it ended the virtue signaling, and then also you can I think you continued to riff, and you were like, "All right, that person over there is choking. Don't worry, everyone.
I got a big bump
It's
there.
gonna seem weird, but I've got this." Starts unzipping their pants.
Is there a doctor? We don't need a doctor.
Oh, so I think of that like, oh, so her killing this with a penis joke is great. It reminds me of the wonderful times you've killed tension with a well-timed penis joke.
Yeah, I mean, I do have to say, and I was where you told this story, I was going to say, that's why we need friends like Samantha. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, that's why we need those friends who can just like cut the tension, make us laugh about the situation. So you're like, oh, I'm like a little bit upset about it, I think. And you're like, no, you're not anymore, because now we're going to laugh about it. I love that. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So the lunch sets up our episode quandary, which we'll get to in a moment. But first, I want to talk about a lot of Charlotte's little moments here because she's being a bit of a tradwife pick me. Do you think she's too defensive over the marrieds being the enemy?
This is kind of a weird moment because the short answer is yes. The short answer is yes. But also, I see where she's coming from because if she's trying to say that her experiences don't match the experiences of what her friends are talking about, then that's fair. She should point that out. And my experiences don't match what these girls are talking about either. But then I would have replied with some examples of like, oh, that's not true.
Oh,
What
yeah.
about our friend Regina?
Yeah.
Regina's not like that. Um, so I don't think she's necessarily wrong to say that her experiences don't align with that, but I don't think that's what she's saying. I think who knows? Maybe she's afraid to get married and be like that.
Oh, yeah. Maybe it's like a deep-seated insecurity. Like, I'm
Yeah, like
going to
she's
become
because
like
we
that.
know she's after a ring. We
Yeah.
know that she wants it, and she doesn't want to become like that.
Yeah.
Um,
She wants
but
it
yeah,
now. Yeah.
that's also not my experience though either. Is that your experience with married friends?
Well, I some,
Some of them. Okay,
but I
fair.
do think that there's kind of, and that's why I'm like, oh, okay, Charlotte's just insecure by the fact that I think she knows that she will become that
Yeah,
kind
she knows that.
of person when she gets married.
Yeah.
She's like,
And I
I
do.
kinda-
I mean, kind of back to your point about like she's acting like a pick me a little bit. Like
Mhm.
that does seem why she's being defensive, is because she wants it so bad. So she doesn't like that they're criticizing what, like maybe they'll be thinking that about me one day, and she doesn't like that.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. And that's why, like,
yeah,
when it comes to some of my friends, like some of them I met and became really close with when they were already married. So like was a that wasn't necessarily the same. Like I'm guessing that Carrie's been friends with Patience for a while, and like that's why this was like such a jarring situation for kind
maybe,
of both of them.
maybe. Do you
Um,
know any girls in real life who are like Charlotte, hoping to pledge marriage, like it's a sorority they're trying to get into?
and that's why I'm saying, like, with when it comes to Charlotte, those are the exact girls who I have this kind of relationship with, where like we're not really friends anymore because they're married
Mm,
and now it's all about, being the perfect wife. Oh, I can't go out. And like all of this. I mean, even some of my girlfriends who are in just like serious relationships are like,
yeah.
oh no, it's just me and my partner, me and my partner, me and my partner. And you're like,
No,
well,
that happens. Yeah.
yeah. Um, and so, yeah, I think that's where, it has to do with like your personality. Like if
Hmm.
Carrie got married, if you and Jay got married, like I
Hmm.
don't see you being like, and now I'm dropping all of my friends who aren't also married.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I just don't know. I did know girls like this when I was very young because I was in more of a high control religion. And in high control religions, a lot of girls are like that. We think that we're the only thing we're good for is finding a good Christian man. Um, so yeah, I knew that a lot. I knew a lot of people like that, but I wasn't close with any of them. And I know someone now tangentially who does behave like this, who's like out to find a husband, capital H. And it is always very strange to me because I'm like, you've got so much going on in your life. You don't need to be desperate for a husband.
Yeah.
But it's weird to me. So I guess that Charlotte's perspective is just strange to me because she's not exactly defending specific married friends. She's defending the institution of marriage, which isn't really even under attack here. It's like
Yeah.
you're getting defensive at the wrong things, if you ask me.
Exactly. And it does like make you wonder because, next season, we have right before she meets, spoiler alert, before she meets Trey, she's like, oh, I'll be spending more time with my married friends, right? So like we know she is
Yeah, we
married.
know she does kind of act like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, maybe this is just because like, oh, these characters aren't supposed to be so close this first season because we reworked the show. And so maybe like I find it fascinating that the the women don't know Patience is what I'm guessing. If
Yeah, it doesn't
Charlotte's
seem
like,
like it.
oh, so like how close were you? So, the other women don't know Carrie's friends. Maybe she doesn't have any examples because they don't actually have that many mutual friends in this
Maybe,
third episode. Yeah.
maybe.
Um, Okay, so yes, this brings us to Carrie asking the question, is there a Cold War between marrieds and singles? So what's your perspective on this Cold War? Is it even an ongoing conflict still?
I wonder, I have a theory
Hmm.
that this is either a 90s thing, like an old fashioned thing, or this is an issue for a different tax bracket than my own. Because back then, or what they're kind of hinting at is that like once they become married, it's like, oh, you're not your own person anymore. You don't have, your old job anymore, that kind of thing. So I wonder if it's that, because like now your economic situation doesn't really change through marriage anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and like like my friends who are married, once they got married, it didn't change anything. They still work. They still have their own lives. Um, what might be the new version of this is maybe having kids. I wonder, like how much it changes you. But even, I mean, I'm lucky that my friends with kids, for the most part, have remained my friends. But it does change things. Um, and then the other thing is, if someone's going to be like this, like the relationship person, like the example you were giving, like, oh, it's everything's me and my partner now. For me, that happens before they're married, in my
Mhm.
experience. Like nowadays, everybody lives with their partner before they.
Yeah.
So it's like if they were like that, I have had friends who are like this when they're dating. They
Mhm.
can't prioritize any other relationship, but that's even in the dating stage. So
I was gonna say,
marriage to
yeah, that's
me isn't going
usually
to
like what
change that.
yeah.
Yeah, like they'll still continue to be like that. Like,
Either
um,
they'll continue to be like it, or it's just in like that dating stage when they're like hot and heavy,
yeah,
and
it
they're like,
could
oh,
get
let's
better.
do
It
all
could
this
get
stuff.
better. That's true.
Yeah.
It could get better. I haven't stuck around to figure that out.
I mean, it's very much like they have to reach out to you, and they have to be like, "Oh shit, I I'm sorry I did that." But yeah, I mean, I bet that is a lot more true, and probably because it was also like modeled that way, right? That's why we had this whole trad wife thing, is because that was our model kind of growing up a little bit, was
Mhm.
our parents are always together, they always go out together, they have mutual friends, and all of those friends are also parents, kind of thing. And
Yeah.
you're right, like that's a lot less common these
Yeah,
days.
that to me that's a lot less common now. Um, and if someone is going to be a relationship type person, marriage isn't the defining factor there anymore.
I mean, you hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think like the people who it will become that, you kind of find that out relatively soon.
Right. Right. So yeah,
Not after
yeah, I
marriage.
don't know anybody whose personality drastically changed from getting married, and or station in life drastically changed from getting married, which I think is probably part of this.
Oh, right, right, right. Yeah. Because the
Which we
people
see
that
that
we know,
we see that in later episodes better than this one, to be honest.
exactly, yeah. And even like people that we know tend to be much more like married, right? Like your same kind of economic,
Yeah.
education bracket, I guess. And
Yeah,
then,
you don't hear these stories anymore of, oh, she used to be this, but now she's married, so she doesn't do that anymore. It's like,
exactly,
no, everybody's dual income still. Like, even
yeah,
my own mother stayed in, I mean, she did take a break from work when she had kids, not when she got married, when she had kids. But she started again in her professional career while I was still a kid. So,
yeah, exactly, yeah. And like, I barely remember my parents being married. So like, yeah,
right.
it was just my mom.
But yeah,
It was
marriage
my mom.
as an identity, I don't see that much personally.
Yeah, exactly. I love that.
Like, it's not your job, it's not your identity.
It's
I don't see
yeah,
that.
and if you do, then you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. But
Yeah.
we don't need to
They
talk
touch
about all
on a couple things that I think are true. Not at this lunch though, so I'm trying not to get ahead of myself. But Carrie mentions that it sucks when you are put at the kids' table for Thanksgiving, and that I find criminal. Treating single people like they don't have just as much right to
Adulthood.
a space,
Yeah.
yeah. To or like if you're doing an Airbnb and you're like, oh well, they don't need a room to themselves because they're just a single person. It's like, no, I'm sorry, they get you don't lose your right to privacy.
Exactly. Yeah. That's so funny. I mean, especially family stuff, like because my
Yeah,
family used to be a lot more like this, but they're much better now that like all of my myself and all of my cousins who are there regularly are either habitually single or have been through really terrible partners. The ones who are married, like at least in my family, the ones who are married are at the kids' table still.
yeah. Which makes me wonder if it is generational of like you don't get to be an adult until you've got a family. I have a really good friend with kids too, and she made a comment that was like, "Oh, I can't wait until now she has kids. She didn't back then. She was like, I can't wait till I have kids because then everybody has to travel to me for the holidays." And I was like, "Oh, but like that shouldn't be the defining factor actually.
Yeah.
Like it should be like who are these
Exactly.
people you're traveling with? Your parents, right? Okay, your parents can you can split that. Like
Yeah. I
you're still
mean,
an adult and you're yeah.
also like oh gosh, yeah. We could talk about
Yeah.
this for
We could
hours.
talk about this forever. But yeah, and I also don't think I've ever had hostility towards me for being single.
Yeah. I mean, just from
But I
me.
guess I'm not single. As we've said, I haven't been in a relationship for 11 years, but we're not married. So,
Yeah. And the reason I'm hostile toward you is because you've been in a relationship for 11 years. And I was always like, I need a single girl
oh, please,
with
you love
me.
my partner too, though.
Exactly. Okay, so this brings us to Carrie and Stanford walking down the street and talking about the Cold War. So Stanford says it's an out and out battle, even amongst the gays. This is when newly married Joe and Lou walk up, ending the conversation by asking Carrie to donate an egg. Now, I mean, I guess I kind of get it, but do you think Carrie overreacts to this request?
um, no, because it was weird. What the heck? What was she
It's a
talking? That
weird
was so
reaction,
weird.
right?
But okay, so let's break it up. She said something. She's like, "What is this single bashing for the new millennium?" And I'm gonna say that was weird. I'm not gonna say she's overreacting, but she's reacting to the wrong thing. Because
Or
does
like
she really
equating
think?
it is the wrong thing.
I think she's reading it wrong. Like,
Yeah.
does she really think that they're only asking her that because she's not married? Like, if she had said, "Yeah, I'm married," do you think that they wouldn't have asked? Because
I
I think they
mean,
would have still asked.
I do wonder like why that was the first question.
I do wonder why that was the first question, and why did it provoke you to ask the next question. But
Yeah,
like, I, I've only known one person to consider being a surrogate, and she was married with a kid.
yeah,
And her whole perspective was, "Oh, I want to help another family because I know what this is like."
yeah.
And
Well,
now I've
and
been pregnant, and I know what I'm in for.
yeah, and to be
So
fair
you're
to
almost
Joe,
more likely to
yeah,
have luck if.
I think so, right? And to be fair to Joe, it's not like he was like, "Oh, she would be perfect. Are you married?" Like
Yeah, it wasn't.
it was more of like a catching
It
up
didn't seem
question.
super related to me. But the second part though, where she's like, "I wasn't even considered a person. I was an egg farm." Yeah, she's justified to feel like that because that's super weird.
Yeah, I mean, especially like not being that close to them, not
Yeah,
even
like
knowing
if
if they
you're
got
close enough
married.
to consider someone like that, that's a very private conversation.
Or you should at least invite them to your wedding. Like they're already married. There are like, the
That's a
equivalent
good
of
point. Maybe this
getting
person wasn't even
engaged.
at their wedding.
Yeah. They're like, oh, this is the first time I've seen you in 6 years. Do you want to donate an egg?
Yeah. Like, was reproductive choice this cowboy back in the 90s? Because that was an egg stick up. Like, what are you doing? What happened to going to a nice fertility clinic and working with professionals rather than harassing women you barely know for their eggs?
Yeah.
That was weird. And also, I would, for many reasons, but I would never assume that any woman that I just casually know is like healthy enough to donate, is ethically enthusiastic about egg donation.
Mhm.
I don't think I would just automatically understand their sexual biology. Who knows if Carrie has eggs?
Oh,
You
yeah.
know her that well? What if, does she have eggs? Does she have health concerns? Um, yeah,
Have they
it's
ever had this
weird.
conversation before? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
it's weird.
I have that where, like, yeah, like, it not only does it come out of nowhere, but, like, have you ever talked about Carrie's, reproductive health? Have you ever talked to her about, is she, like, even able to? Yeah, I think it's a lot happening for such a casual conversation, for just running
It's a
into
lot
someone.
happening. Does she, we don't know anything about her biology, her health, her history with reproductive issues, because that can be an incredibly
It could be a
sensitive
very yeah, it could be a
topic.
very traumatizing topic to just bring up out of nowhere.
Yeah, like having, I mean, all my friends who have kids have gone through some sort of reproductive health issue or another, and it's devastating every single time. So, like, to just run
Blurt
into
it
people
out.
on the street and be like, using those eggs?
Yeah.
Crazy. Crazy.
Yes, exactly. Okay, good. Well, I mean, I guess that does mean that Carrie, I do think, I think what she says is probably a little bit too much like the single bashing, but I do appreciate uh, that there is just like a lot more that, you know, gay white men uh, need to think about.
Yeah. And like,
We
you don't know from
care.
looking at someone if they even have eggs either. Also, I don't
Exactly.
know.
Yeah. So this brings us to Miranda's firm's annual sports ball. She has been warned. So what I do like is that she has been warned that her coworker is going to set her up with someone, but it ends up being Sid, a cisgender woman. So Miranda has to out herself as a filthy heterosexual. I I think is disgusting.
uh,
But like, where do we even start with the setup between?
wonder how disappointed her parents are. But that as a setup, it's bold. Like, it's bold to assume someone's sexuality. I was just saying it's bold to assume someone's gender and health status, but it's really bold to assume someone's sexuality. Um,
Yeah,
Even though
especially
Miranda,
like,
and Miranda doesn't know yet either, to be fair, but you should at least ask her.
well, where we are in the series, Miranda's pretty sure.
She
So, yeah, I also
she
like find it,
thinks she's
yeah,
sure.
I find it
I was sure
fascinating.
too, Ceyoncé.
Well, and that's what I'm saying, right? Like, where we are in the series is very different from where we'll be
Yeah,
in 30
yeah,
years.
right. But to not even
But,
ask and just set someone up
but I do also
with
have to say,
anyone.
like, I understand that it's a law firm, but if you're bold enough to try to set up a coworker, then you've had conversations about people they've dated,
Yeah,
right?
like, have you not had any conversation? Okay, even if you knew she was a lesbian, it's weird to set her up with the only other lesbian you know, right? Like, you didn't have any conversation about what Miranda's type would be?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Mm,
weird. It's just a
yeah.
weird setup.
Yeah, just like across the board. Cause like, the number of times people have been like, I'm gonna set you up. I'm like, no, don't do
And
it.
I do want to know what the conversations were like, because it's like, oh, I'm going to set you up. with my good friend Sid. Like, did we avoid pronouns completely in the conversation about what Sid is like?
Right? You're like, Sid is
It's like,
great.
tell me about Sid. Oh, Sid's great.
Sid does this. Sid also,
Sid likes softball and carabiners, and Sid loves camping and U-Hauls.
I
I
mean,
don't
yeah,
know.
the carabiners is a little bit like, uh-oh.
I just like I have no idea. What was the conversation? It's like, yeah, Sid. Does Sid also work for the company?
Well, I mean, Sid's at the game playing,
Yeah.
maybe? Because I'm like, why would an annual law firm sports ball include some guy's random friend?
Right. So if
Maybe,
someone approached you and was like, you know, who'd be so good with is Sid from HR. Wouldn't you
right?
ask questions?
Well,
Like,
would
why
you
do you think Sid
ever?
and I would be great?
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, yeah. Why do you think this? But also, like, wouldn't Miranda know this person?
Yeah, wouldn't is there not a company database?
Or yeah, if it's, Sid from HR, Sid from this, like they probably interacted. Like I can't imagine this is like a huge firm where you have
They
like
clearly haven't interacted though, because
exactly.
yeah. So I guess it's somebody that from a different department that Miranda's never interacted with. But yeah, I don't know. I would ask more questions in this for a setup, but it's still a fun. But then then we wouldn't have the funny
This is a wonderful episode
episode
that
as it's
yeah,
happening.
because Miranda ends up doing good sports ball, which is a stereotype. So, are we sure that Miranda's straight just based on this episode?
No, and keep watching, and it gets even weirder. It gets even more questionable.
Yeah.
Ah,
Well, and that's why like I do love that this is happening because
yeah, I would not join a company softball game anyway.
no. I mean, I'd be like, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Bye. 100%. Yeah.
Is Miranda straight? I know why you're pausing now because I'm like, oh yeah, I took more notes about this, didn't I? This is compulsive heterosexuality, if we want to get into it.
Mhm.
Which I get it because if you do find men attractive, it's really easy to say, oh yeah, that's evidence that I'm not gay. That's evidence that I
Yeah.
don't belong in queer spaces. And for me, that's definitely how it felt. It was like, oh, I don't belong in a queer space because I have the option to appear not
Well,
gay. And
yeah.
yeah.
When the default is heterosexuality,
Yeah, that's the
you're like,
default. So
oh,
that's what she assumes. And yeah, I didn't uh, understand that I was queer until I embraced the possibility of experimentation and embraced the possibility of not knowing things and not thinking that everything is black or white. And Miranda's a very black or white thinker. So I see why it took her so long. Um, yeah, and I mean, it's so rampant. It's so rampant. Like I still hear straight women being like, I mean, everybody wants to have sex with women. It's like no, like everybody finds other women sexually attractive, and it's like no. Welcome
yeah,
to the
no,
club. Let's start a clock on how long it takes you to figure this out. Um, but
love
yeah,
that. Yeah. Well, and and that's kind of the pervasiveness of compulsive heterosexuality is that because without the ability to have the conversation or to start putting feelers out or
yeah,
just like actually sit down and actually like think about it critically, do I think that everyone, that all women find other women sexually attractive, with especially especially the straight men. I'm just gonna say it. All alpha males. Alpha males.
Oh yeah, a little bit gay. Oh yeah.
Oh
You're
yeah,
so into men. You're into men a little more than you think. Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, so one of these episodes we've already talked about how I feel about TikTok criticism of the show. And one interesting and infuriating bit of feedback that I see a lot is about the choice to, and then just like that, make Miranda gay. And people are like, but she's not gay. And they'll use this episode as an example. It's like, oh, we know Miranda's not gay because of that episode she tried to date Sid. And it makes me so mad because it's like, no, we don't. That doesn't negate it. She just realized it later. And
Yep,
they'll also say, well, Miranda was so into men that there's no way Miranda was gay. And it's like, first of all, it is a choice to make her lesbian, and I am surprised they didn't just like embrace her just being generally queer or even
yeah,
bisexual. But yeah, the fact that like queer women have the capability of liking cisgender straight men doesn't negate their queerness. In fact, to me, that kind of thinking is anti-queer,
exactly.
because to
Yeah,
me queer is political. Queer isn't necessarily one identity at all. There are
mhm,
gay people who aren't queer, in my opinion. There are, because there are gay people with really rigid binary beliefs,
mhm,
really rigid white supremacist beliefs.
yeah,
TERFs are a great example. There are plenty of gay TERFs. Transphobes, biphobes, gay men who put no fats, no femmes, no Asians on their dating profile aren't queer.
yeah,
Lesbians who gatekeep the term lesbian from trans masc lesbians are not queer.
yeah,
Or lesbians who refuse to date anyone but a gold star lesbian. In my opinion, that's not queer. That's not queer thinking. That's not. That's not queer.
yeah,
There are straight people like my good friend Elle. I was having this conversation with her recently. She identifies as straight, but she's like, I mean, I do recognize that I'm kind of queer. And I'm like, yeah,
yeah.
you are. Yeah.
Mhm. Well,
You
and
don't
I
have an
love that.
attraction to other genders other than one, but you're queer as hell because you're always doing this work of questioning the binary and
Yeah,
questioning her own beliefs and being supportive of her partner who is asexual. And yeah, you're queer. You're not necessarily queer just because you're in a queer relationship. But
right.
if you're in a queer relationship, you're doing the work, you can be straight and be queer. Like Michelle Visage, would anybody call her not queer?
I mean, probably just the drag queens who have been judged really harshly by her on the show. But it's true, right? I mean, because yeah, because you bring up like Michelle Visage, it's like, a lot of a lot of really close female, females who are in like straight relationships who love the queer scene. Michelle Visage came of age in the ballroom in New York, like being in the queer space and embracing it, questioning, being an ally, like all of this is very queer. And so it's like, yeah, you're we accept her, one of us. It's
Yeah.
yeah,
Elle,
and I
we do
love
too,
the
right? We accept Elle,
exactly.
our friend.
Yeah, and I love the the straight butt, which is
Straight
queer.
butt.
Yeah, the straight butt. You're like, we got you, girl. We
That's
got
queer. You got a little room in there. It means you're probably.
you. Exactly.
So yeah,
Uh,
that's my problem with people who use this episode as evidence that she isn't, because she's kidding herself too back then. You could just as easily think that.
yeah, exactly. So Miranda's boss, Chip, like, okay. Uh, he invites her and Sid to dinner because he thinks they're in a relationship, which we'll talk about later. But, like, has this ever happened to you where your boss figures you out so you're invited to an inner circle?
No. I connected with a boss that I had at an agency that I worked with because I ended up like self-divulging that I was queer to her, and then it was like, oh, me too. She was queer too. So then we ended up knowing that each other was a safe space, and we definitely connected more than I have with any other boss. But no, no. I've never even been invited to like a dinner like this by a boss. Have you? Or can you relate to any of this?
Not really like relating, like, oh, you're in a relationship, so it's great. Um,
Oh yeah, that's weird.
yeah, I mean, to be fair,
Especially framing it around a relationship. Yeah, that's never happened to me.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, yeah,
Wait, I do kind of have something.
yeah.
Do you remember somebody that we used to work with who's kind of problematic, also an M name, who was very proud that she only dated black men?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
When she found out my partner was brown, she thought, oh, inner circle girl. And she thought, but I was very upset about this. I didn't like being included in this weird circle because she all of a sudden was like, oh, we can totally connect about this now. And then she was immediately like asking me very intrusive, weird questions. And I could tell that she kind of fetishized a race and was like, do you
Exactly.
also fetishize a race? I was like,
Yeah.
no, no, honey,
Yeah. She's like, are
absolutely
you a
not.
white supremacist too? You're like, no,
Like, mm-mm, mm-mm.
it's not a fetish, it's an actual connection. But thank you
It's
so
just an
much.
actual connection, but good to know
Good
more
luck
than I
with your
ever cared to
relationship.
know about your relationships.
Yeah.
So that was that was the kind of, but it wasn't a
Yeah.
club I wanted to be part of.
Yeah. It's like the closest that we can think of.
Hmm.
But yeah, not really like, oh, inner circle at work kind of thing.
I
Yeah.
mean, we did work in the same office, but
But it wasn't
not
like, but
closely.
you were her boss,
No,
right?
no, there was no boss relationship. Yeah.
Oh. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. God. I anyway.
I'm sorry for mentioning this person.
Uh but we do find Carrie and Miranda talking about the sports ball in Carrie's apartment. So are you tooting or booting the outfits in this episode so far, other than Carrie's Hamptons outfit?
For Miranda's in this white hoodie,
Yeah, and
missing the
her Harvard.
string, and I don't see any other part of her outfit. So
She's in like black stretch pants, I think. Yeah,
does
or
she?
like sweatpants. Yeah.
Oh yeah, boot. Sorry. She does kind of get a pass because she just came from playing sports ball, but couldn't she have changed? Couldn't she have had something underneath?
I mean, apparently she had to rush right to
I
Carrie's.
would have played in this. It's a stretchy dress.
But you also, you like, because I have a problem with Carrie's clogs.
Oh
I
yeah,
always,
Carrie's outfit, I totally toot. I'm sorry. I would 100% wear Carrie's outfit. She's got that nude tube top, dark or black jeans, like the little post earrings with her hair tied back, and the red clogs. I no, I love the whole outfit. And it's proof, and people watching and just like that, it's proof Carrie doesn't always wear high heels in her apartment, just saying.
exactly. I mean, not even on the street. Yeah, because she didn't change from walking with
Yeah, she was
Stanford.
wearing those clogs.
Yeah,
Do you hate the clogs?
I do hate the clog. I just hate clogs in general.
Oh, I like clogs.
I mean, especially, yeah. But also to me, like, um, even at lunch, it's very like the lunch outfits that they all wear are very unmemorable. They're very
I like
basic.
the tube top look. I like it, but it's also
Yeah.
because
Well, I mean, because it is,
I would
I-
wear it. So
so it's basic. No, I'm just kidding.
it is, but it's so cute.
He's cute. I do really like the I think it's vintage jacket that she wears when they're
Yes,
actually
the jacket that she
shopping.
wears.
Yeah, I think it's great. It'll make an appearance even again later in this season. Um, but yeah, okay. I mean, it's fine. But as a result of all these conversations, Carrie decides to infiltrate the enemy camp by having lunch with her favorite couple, Lisa and David. She ends up admitting to them that she's beginning to think she's not the marrying kind. So, this is the third episode of the entire series. So, in this moment specifically, do we believe her?
I believe that she's thinking it.
Yeah.
And
I
I've
mean,
had this same thought so many times. To me, this is a really relatable thing because you're seeing people like Charlotte who are just dying to get married.
yeah,
And then you're seeing people like Sam who's like, "Oh god, please don't."
yeah,
Blah. And then Carrie's like, "I'm somewhere I don't feel like either end of that."
yeah,
And if I don't feel passionately one way or the other, does that mean it's not meant for me?
yeah,
So I believe she's really thinking that.
absolutely. And
And she
the
might not be, honestly. She does. I
well,
guess
in this moment, yeah,
she
in
might be
this
right.
moment,
I'll just say that. She might be
yeah,
right that she's not the marrying kind.
exactly. Well, and the I don't necessarily buy that she's 32 and just had this thought like out of nowhere just because someone finally asked her. Like, I think she's known this for a while.
She has been. She's been thinking about it. This could be the first moment she said it out loud, though.
Exactly. Yeah. She just could be like, oh, I guess I have to make a choice now because someone just asked me. Yeah. So Lisa and David proved to be monsters because they surprised me with the fix up. Now, has this ever happened to you?
No, thank God.
Yeah. Ugh.
No. A surprise fix up. Has that ever happened to you?
Surprise fix up? No. Uh,
No.
and well,
My parents did, though. That's actually how my parents went on their first date.
oh, really?
Was a surprise fix up.
Yeah,
But
that's
they had
why I'm
already
like,
known each other. They'd already known each other.
okay.
So
It
they'd already
wasn't
known
like
each other, and their friend group were like, "We're gonna go skiing." I think it was at Loveland, aka Loveland. So we're gonna go at
I get it
Loveland
now.
skiing. Yeah, we're gonna all gonna go skiing at Loveland. So let's all go. And then they all bailed except my parents as a fix up. They were like, "Oh, sorry, none of us could make it. It's just you two."
Uh, I mean, that's a sitcom episode.
But
That is
that's
the
that's
plot of a
why
movie.
I'm here because of a surprise setup.
I love that. Okay, so surprise setup, but have you ever been set up in general by any of your friends?
Yeah, I have been. Only once, I think only once. And it didn't go well either. It went pretty badly.
I was gonna say that's
it
not.
was it was with a coworker um and her friends. It was a group, right? That I met this person originally. So we were just at a group just getting lunch, I think. And we were all at Auraria campus, so we all grabbed lunch at Euclid Hall. I
Mhm.
miss that place.
Oh,
So we all went and got lunch there, and there was just some of her friends, and one of them honestly didn't like strike me either way at the lunch. But then after the words, I think that he reached out to my friend and was like, "Oh, could I have your friend's number?" And she was all about it. She was so excited about this. She's like, "You guys would be so cute together. You guys would be great." And I was like, "Okay, like I trust your judgment. I don't know this guy at all." He was like ex-military.
it's so your
So no,
type.
it's not my type at all. So not my type.
I'm like, who is this
Still had the
friend?
shaved head like as a decision. Former military and really loved to talk. Didn't like me to get a word in edgewise. So we did. We went on a date. just for drinks. And yeah, it wasn't, it just, I don't remember it being that bad of a crash out, but he did go to the bathroom mid date, and the guy at the table next to us turned to me and was like, I just have to ask, is this a date? And I was like, yeah. And he said, that's bad. That's bad. This guy's crashing out. Like, this guy's not doing well. I don't remember exactly what he said. Blowing it. That's what he said. He's like, this guy's blowing it. And I'm like, so it was so awkward that the next table commented. That's how bad. And it was just that he wouldn't let me talk. He was just talking about himself the whole time. And then at the end, he was like, we should really do this again sometime. And I felt like I had to be polite. So I said, yeah. I don't even know if we hugged. It was just like, and then I had to walk all the way back to my car in the snow. And he was like, all right, bye. Did not walk me back to my car
I mean, of
in the
course you wanted
snow.
to go out with you again because you were polite and let him talk about himself the entire fucking time. Yeah, so he was having a great time just talking
He
about
was having a
himself.
great time talking about himself. And
Yeah,
then I ended up having car trouble on my way home because remember my
mhm,
Volkswagen Bug? She was
absolutely.
always having car trouble.
She yeah.
And so he texted me, he's like, oh, did you get home safe? And I didn't get home until like hours after the date because I'd had to call for a ride. I'd had to get, like jump my battery or something like that. And I was just like, no, I only just got home because I had car trouble. And he was like, oh, that sucks. And then we never contacted each other again.
For thank God.
I
Yeah.
don't even know if that story was worth sharing because it was so blah.
I mean, well, I really, this is what the expectation should be from a setup. From like basically, you've either never spent time with the person before, or it's been like very brief, and you don't actually know if you're going to get along. Like,
Yeah.
why
Have
would your
you been set up
friend?
before?
I've been. I don't know if I would even call it like a setup. It's been a lot of, oh, we're gonna go here, and guess who will be there? And I'm like,
Mm,
I don't know. And then it like ends up just not working out because I don't get along with gay men. And I do have to say, uh, it's always with someone whose personality is exactly like mine, and I do not get along with me. And I know that. I've come to accept it, but it's very much like Margaret Cho just posted a video recently that was like, gay men do not owe you a makeover. They do not owe you
Mm,
attention and all of this stuff. And it's very much like I hate going shopping with women who I don't know. But that's always the first approach. Oh my God, we should go shopping together. I'm like, no, we shouldn't.
mm.
You're gonna be miserable to
Really?
do that with. And so it's always like those people who are very much like, oh my God, you're gonna love each other. And then we're like, no, we're not. Stop saying that. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever tried to set someone up?
I've tried, yeah. And it never goes well.
Yeah, see, that's the lesson. That's the
Because
lesson. Setups, except my parents. But theirs was an exception because I think that they already were visibly interested in each other.
exactly. They
It's
already
just
knew each
neither of
other.
them.
Everyone knew it except them. Yeah.
Everybody knew it.
That's
Everyone
a
knew it that it was gonna
huge
work, and
difference.
that's the only acceptable kind of setup, in my opinion.
I think so. Yeah.
Although my friend
Yeah.
even was right. To her credit, my friend was fine for setting me up because that guy asked her, you know? So that was
But
fine. But she
no,
didn't have to
not
hype it up. And also, I look back and I'm like, why did you think we'd be a good match?
that's what I'm saying. Like, no, she was not. She was to me. I'm like, oh my God, am I a Charlotte right now? Like, how good of a friend was she?
Yeah, I'm like, what in the world made you think we had no similar interests, we had no similar backgrounds? Is it
Exactly.
because I had the short hair and he had the shaved hair? So
But even
short hair
then,
couple of my dreams.
no, I find it
I have
wild
no
that
idea.
person who she would have set you up with. No. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Who knows?
Uh, so anyway, Carrie finds out she was set up with the marrying guy, that elusive and rare Manhattan man whose sights were set on marriage. Do you know any marrying guys?
No,
No.
not at all.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, this is a little wild to me. Um, but at least it does remind me of something that like Miranda says in a much later season. Like, oh yeah, his light was on. That makes
That
sense.
I do think that exists.
Yeah,
But
the
it that
relative
that
guy.
I there's a reason that line has resonated through decades. That I find true. This just a guy naturally at all times out to get married.
Right.
Also, what I also feel like if they do exist then they're already married.
Yeah, exactly, which we'll get to. So Carrie continues her research, I guess, by seeing Sean again. They go on very generic dates to the movies before going shopping for a cheese grater, which sounds so romantic. But first, have you seen either City of Angels or U.S. Marshals?
No.
Yeah, I've never seen U.S. Marshals, but City of Angels was everywhere in the 90s. Not as bad as like Titanic, which would have made more sense around this time for them to go see. Um, but City of Angels for sure. But it's such a batshit crazy premise, and I'm like, see it or don't. Watch You Got Mail instead. If you're like in a Meg Ryan
Yeah.
fix.
They picked that over You've Got Mail or Titanic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wouldn't
they
be
get
my choice.
yeah. I mean exactly. Yeah. So they get the cheese grater at Williams Sonoma. Do you shop at Williams Sonoma? Because I have to ask you the white people questions, or else why are you
For my Gilmore Girls knowledge.
here? True, true, true.
And yes. I'm not a frequent Williams Sonoma shopper because it's expensive, but I am a Williams Sonoma occasional shopper. I really like aesthetic cookware and servingware. I love Staub. That's they sell a lot of that there. Did you
Right.
know that if you register at Williams Sonoma, you get a free Le Creuset gift just for registering?
A free Lake Crusade. I don't even know what that means.
Le Creuset, the brand, they do. I mentioned Staub earlier. I'd say that they're like the second most well known, but Le Creuset is the most well known for their really colorful, um, coated ceramic coated cast iron.
Okay, that's why.
You're
I'm
like,
such a cook. I can't
what?
believe I didn't realize Le Creuset did that.
I thought I would tell you that, and you were like, I'm gonna go register now. Way off, way off. Okay.
Yeah, I don't cook. I don't care. I mean, I hope someone
Oh.
listening is like, "Oh shit, okay, yeah, they can go register." If that was for them, that was for you, listener. That was not for me.
Exactly.
So Sean kisses Carrie, and she keeps her eyes open the whole time, and she's like, "He was like the flesh and blood equivalent of a DKNY dress. You know it's not your style, but it's right there, so you try it on anyway." So, what's your reaction to this?
First of all, I just like this fashion metaphor, and I love the foreshadowing we're getting here because Charlotte loves DKNY. I'm thinking of Charlotte in that the blue watercolor chiffon layered dress that she wears to her engagement party with Trey later.
Oh, right, right, right.
Love that. That's one of my
Yeah,
favorite Charlotte looks. So Charlotte wears Donna Karen. And also, isn't Carrie's naked dress the infamous one, Donna Karen?
it sure is.
Yeah, it's from the spring 1999 collection. And
Mhm.
I mean, just spoiler alert, little preview, and this is just a little foreshadowing. That was also an ill fated date. So
I don't
I
know if
just
it's
love the
that.
fashion foreshadowing that's going on with that.
Is it
Which it is, I think it is
ill-fated?
Donna Karen. I don't think it's DKNY, but still.
Yeah.
Um, I think that that was meant to be like the accessible. I don't think it was meant to be anything against Donna Karen, the label or anything. But I don't know. Just love that little bit of fashion foreshadowing because she does then try to see if this DKNY dress will fit with Charlotte, which is funny because Charlotte does wear Donna Karen.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, I love the metaphor because I think we've all maybe been like, I'll see.
Yeah, I'll try it on. And I'm not against that either. Like, it's not a bad thing.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think like going on multiple dates with someone like that is a little wild to me. Like
I think
you
you
kind
should
of
be
know
able to
they're
tell
with
after one date.
I think after one date, I mean, stretching it to the second, but
Yeah,
like third
yeah.
casual Sunday, I'm guessing.
She knew by now. She knew by now.
Exactly. Yeah. Um, So Carrie, Charlotte, and Samantha go to Sean's housewarming party while Miranda goes to her boss's dinner party she was invited to. Uh, and we'll talk about one at a time. So let's start with the housewarming party. So for some reason, Carrie waits until the hallway to tell Sam and Shar that Sean is definitely not her boyfriend. So what do you think they know about Sean before they arrived?
I think she probably was like, I was set up with this guy, and I want your opinions on him, and also I don't want to go to this party with him alone. Come
Yeah,
with me. I don't know. Maybe that's giving her too much credit. Maybe it was maybe it was less
no,
than that.
I think if she had said that, then that's then like they should know.
You're right. So they probably didn't. She was probably like, "Let's go to this party that I got invited to by this guy that I'm
Yeah,
seeing."
or probably
Yeah.
not even that I'm seeing. Like, oh, we were invited to a housewarming party. Do you want to go to a party?
Oh, you
And then like
think?
in the cab, like in the elevator, she's like, by the way, I've been seeing him for. It's got to be something like that because
It's their reaction. Yeah.
yeah, I can't believe you got a boyfriend in less than a week. I'm like, be
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
be honest with them about what they're going into. Yeah, that's what she should have said.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
okay.
so before they go in, are we tooting or booting the outfits that they're going into?
You know, I've been too nice for too long. So Carrie gets a boot. And not because it's that bad, but because it's just not good either. This like little black, it's just a really boring dress, and then she's got this headband with it and no accessories. I
Yeah,
know Carrie for good styling and interesting styling, and this is so nothing. So I'm gonna boot it.
I support
Um,
that. I support that.
and for Charlotte, I'm also booting it. Again, not because it's terrible, but what is this neckline? It's just very weird and rumply up here.
Yeah,
Like it,
it's
it
the
also
neck.
doesn't look like it fits right.
Yeah,
Um, and again, we know Charlotte for impeccable tailoring, so I'm going to say boot. And it's just a weird neckline. And it's not even a good color on her, actually. I don't really
yes,
like that color on her.
yeah,
But Sam gets a toot.
yes,
She gets a really big toot for this one because I love this dress on her. It's really a bombshell look. I love it. And I
yes.
like it with the simple earring. I like it with her hair half back. She's the hottest woman at this entire party.
Yeah, I mean, I do have to say, of all of the women, I think they knew how to style Sam from the beginning. With the exception
Yes.
of, I think she was too covered up last episode, but they just know it. And part of
I
me is
I
like,
liked her last episode though, but you did have a
exactly,
good point. But it looked good. It just was
it looked good. Yeah, it was
covered.
styled
Yeah.
well. And I do think like, uh, I think that had a lot to do with just like Kim Cattrall being much more involved, probably, and much more vocal about it. Like I have a feeling she was much more vocal than like SJP was from the very beginning. Like I think it took SJP a little while to probably either develop the relationship with Pat or to really just be like, Carrie's not going to wear that. Stop it. Let's have fun. Yeah.
I
Um,
don't think that they meant to make Charlotte stylish yet. That's all I can
exactly.
figure.
I mean, they were like, "Oh, we have a fourth character. Let's." We had no budget because we already bought all of the other characters their outfits.
Yeah,
Possibly
because
because this
it's
looks
just
like,
it doesn't look good.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they walk in and they find out that it's all married couples. So obviously Sam is pissed. How would you feel walking into this?
Okay, well, first of all, I don't entirely blame Carrie because how was she supposed to know that it was going to
Yeah,
be
biggest mad
all
at Carrie.
couples? But I agree that I would be weirded out by the vibes of walking, and especially how everybody turns and looks at them and they're all paired up. I'd be like, oh, get me off Noah's Ark.
I mean, I don't think I've ever been to a party where I can, like, you can tell who's like together, but they're not in just like
They're
two,
not
like
only with
two of
each
them.
other either.
Yeah,
Like, I don't hang out with my partner the entire time at a party. Are you kidding?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I agree. Yeah, it's not Carrie's fault, but like, ask some questions.
The vibes are weird at this party, though. I would have also feel really awkward walking in from as
In general.
any one of those three characters. I would have felt awkward.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I guess like you are going to a housewarming party.
But a
But
housewarming party isn't like obviously a coupley thing.
exactly. No, I mean just like lame vibes.
Oh, yeah, okay. I wouldn't have expected it to be great either. That's true.
Mhm.
That's true. Wouldn't have had super high expectations for a housewarming party.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Good
Sean
point.
shows Carrie and Charlotte the den, soon to be the baby's room or whatever you call it, nursery.
Yeah, the nursery.
So I am so uncomfortable for Carrie and Charlotte in this scene. What would you do in this situation?
I would have actually left the party.
Right? Like, don't
I
even
would have
wait
left
for
because
Sam
like
to
my
get
friends are
home.
not comfortable. We walked in, the vibes were immediately off, and now you're showing me the nursery. Like, no, stop! This is
Yeah.
so uncomfortable. I'm like, awesome. We brought you some wine. Have a great time. I'm so glad, but we unfortunately we can't stay. So
Hi, it's me. Something bad happened.
and then honestly, I'd be so tempted to ghost him. I'd be so tempted because he that was just so weird, and I wouldn't know how he would behave to rejection, to be honest, because he's being so weird. So honestly, I would
Like,
be tempted to ghost this man. I'd probably do a breakup text. I don't think I'd have the gumption to break
no,
up with this man in person. And again, because he's weird. That's weird.
exactly.
Like, look
Yeah,
at
like we're
my
gonna talk about what happens here in a moment, but like that desperation that you can
yes,
there,
desperation.
it's like, ugh, is this super creepy? Do we need to leave now before it gets worse?
I'd be worried he's like part of a cult with all these people,
Right?
all these couples around.
It's very Rosemary's Baby.
I'm like, is this a breeding kink cult of some sort?
Exactly. I love that. Um,
So he's like, actually, I'd stay.
no, I would take pictures. I would start interviewing. But speaking of, Charlotte tells Carrie no guy buys a classic six on the Upper West Side unless they are seriously thinking about marriage. So, do you think that there like are indicators, warning signs for this kind of like marrying guy?
I mean, what she said makes sense to me, but again, I don't know a marrying kind. Somebody buying real estate is probably a good sign that they're a stable person, and so if you're
Mm,
looking for a partner, sounds good. But I mean, it's just economic stability, right? Like we all want that, not
yeah,
just the breed kink cult.
exactly. Yeah. So we'll come to Sam in a moment, but Carrie talks to some of Sean's friends and learned way too much information about him. They tell her about how much money he has in the bank. Now, is this something that white people know?
Kind of. Yeah, kind of. I don't. First of all, the way this guy says it, he's like, and he's got 300K in the bank. That would never be said. That was very unrealistic.
Okay.
But But this guy probably does brag about it. I mean, he's a weird guy. He probably does go around bragging about exactly how much he's got in the bank. And as far as like, do white people know how much their friends have? Kind of. Yeah, honestly. We have ballpark ideas. We, like, I know what almost all of my friends make and what their husbands make. And I know if they have family money, I know what, I don't really even have
Hmm,
like exact figures, but I know that they have it. And I know, like, for
exactly.
example, it's enough
Okay.
for this or it's enough for that. Or I know it's like an investment situation.
Yeah.
Um, I generally know what my friends' parents make. So yeah, the reason that that comes up is the reason it usually comes up is, in fact, you know what's a much better example of how white people talk about money and how we all kind of have an idea of what our friends have is the episode where Carrie's apartment goes co-op.
Mhm.
That's when we learn what our friends have is it'll be like, oh, we're buying a house, and it's like, oh yeah, and my parents gave me the down, they gave me the down payment. I know my friends who own homes, that's when I knew a bit more about their financial situations. Like I knew how they got that down payment. Like they either saved, I know their method for saving. I know if their
Okay.
parents gave them that money. So yeah, we do kind of have an idea. Um, but
I mean,
it's always
I guess
there
that
are
makes
very
a little bit more
few
sense. Yeah. Like
there are
you
very few people
have
that I know their exact bank account, but there are
right.
friends that I do know that.
Yeah. Well, and
But I wouldn't say it to anyone either.
you wouldn't, especially like when you don't really like know them, unless they're
It's a
like
very
he's
unspoken thing. It's a thing we talk about in private. It's not something we talk about at a party.
well,
That's the
I mean,
violation in my opinion.
this is why I wonder, like, are are they like, oh my God, this guy is so desperate? Like, do anything you can to get her interested in marriage. I mean, because this kind
That's
of
what it seems
information
like.
would be very useful for Charlotte, right? Like Charlotte needs to know all of this shit. She's checking his bank account right from the bat. So if his friends are, I mean, that's why like I almost wonder if it's not a violation. I almost wonder if he was like, these are the facts that you need to know before Carrie gets here. Make sure you tell her.
It's just too early. It's too early. I feel like these are all things that you should know going into a marriage, but this is too early. I don't
I
think all
mean,
your dates need to know
unless you're
this.
absolutely desperate to get married, but we also don't know anyone, any man who's like that. Yeah.
I don't know
Um,
any man who's like that.
yeah, exactly. So Sam's not only pissed about being at this marrieds only party, she also discovered that she slept with multiple men at the party. So she starts taking tequila shots. Is Samantha justified in her actions here?
This is why I just would have left sooner. I would not have. Like, Sam is so uncomfortable. I'd have gotten my friend out of here. This is. It was not probably smart for her to start drinking that heavily, but I understand why she's upset.
Yeah.
Like, I bet this was kind of a betrayal. I bet she didn't know all these men were married.
I I don't know. I doubt she cared. I doubt she asked. I don't think it's the betrayal necessarily. I think it's I've slept with all of these men and now their partners are here and I have to be stuck in this apartment with them
Okay.
for an extended period of time.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so because she started drinking heavily, which by the way would have been my go-to, um, Charlotte starts dragging Sam to get her home, but Carrie runs into Patience and Peter. And I'm going to say it, I hate Patience. Is there anything redeemable about Patience or Peter?
No.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah. Like, Patience can suck my ass.
I do love that
Peter,
they get to humiliate him at the party, though, and laugh at him.
exactly. I think that's the redeemable part of the scene. But fuck Patience and Peter.
Is that he knows that
Absolutely.
was not an impressive move. That was a laughable move.
Exactly.
So I love that.
Yeah. Um,
But no, they're terrible people. I don't like them at all.
So, speaking of terrible people, let's talk about the dinner party because Miranda admits to her boss that she's not in a relationship with Sid and that she's not even a lesbian. So, obviously, Chip, poor Chip, is disappointed because his wife was looking to add a lesbian couple to the circle. Now, this is where I'm like, oh God, poor Miranda. It must be so hard being straight and having to constantly come out as heterosexual. Like, it's old hat at this point. Not again. But
The
do you think Miranda
classic
did the right
story of
thing?
losing every opportunity to the gays.
I know they take so much from the heterosexuals, so
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
But do you think that Miranda did the right thing, at least like telling her boss?
Um, no.
Yeah,
Let me explain. I mean, the pretending with Sid, no, that's blatantly wrong. I think we can all agree with that. Like, don't
yeah.
hold this poor woman to go on a date with you at the boss's house.
Oh
But
my God,
also,
how do you think that even went down? Sid is like, yeah, I'll go with you to pretend like we're in a
yeah, like isn't
relationship.
that weird?
Who
It's
agrees
just
with that?
awful weird weird.
Yeah,
But also it's none of your boss's business what your sexuality is,
1,000,000%, especially in the 90s. There were no
especially
workplace
in the
restrictions
90s.
for sexual
So I
orientation.
just think just don't confirm or deny, to be honest.
Yeah.
And also don't even negate the date with Sid. I think that's actually kind of rude. Like
Oh,
if you
yeah, I
wanted to
agree.
go on a date with Sid and do it, just go on
Yeah,
the date. Just like he doesn't need
yeah,
to know anything about you. I think it is fine to clarify. It's like, "Oh, would you two like to come?" It's like, "Oh, we're not a couple. We just came to this together.
yeah. You could have done
We're not a
that,
couple. We only just met."
or if you're gonna pretend, like at least be like, "Oh, Sid and I broke up." If you're gonna
No,
lie,
just
just
don't lie.
keep
Just don't
lying.
lie. I'm just like, don't you don't have to lie, but also you
But
don't have to divulge anything about your relationship. Like, in fact, you
yeah,
shouldn't. I don't know.
yeah.
So I think
I mean, it's
just
also yeah. I think that's also like a very like 2025 lens,
it
right?
is, but also how weird is it for you to admit, I wanted you to like me, so I went on a date with this woman? Like that's crazy. That was bold of her for to assume that they would have received that well. Um and keep your job, Miranda. Don't don't admit to anything. Yeah, I think just keep it professional and don't I mean if you want to, you can self-divulge, but I just don't think that there's a point.
Yeah,
And it was
I
bold of
agree.
her to think that her boss would be accepting of that. I'm glad he was, but to me, if I heard that, I'd be like, "You did what? You wanted to come to my house so bad that you pretended to be a lesbian and you thought that was the only way you could get invited? That's weird."
He's a white Republican. Is it that weird? We think it's weird because it's a weird thing to do, but that is very much how white
You think
men.
he'll be flattered?
Yeah,
Oh, this will now turn into
we currently have a president who sold access to himself via Bitcoin. So yes,
It's
I think
also
this is
weird to imagine
wrong.
that Republicans would have specifically invited gay people to their house.
I mean, it was
To me,
his
that would be
wife.
like a get out situation.
I mean, 100%. Exactly. Yeah, that's a get out situation.
I don't
Because
if a
why?
Republican white person asked me to their house because I'm gay, I would not think it's for good reasons.
Specifically a lesbian couple. Like, this
Yeah,
feels
that's
very
weird.
much like I want to know what the rest of that dinner party guest list looked like. Was there like the token black couple? Was there the token gay male couple? Like, I want to know what this looked like. Or were Miranda and Sid like the only divergent, deviant even couple that was there?
Yeah, it's just weird. It's a weird situation,
Yeah,
and because he was being equally as weird as Miranda, I just think you don't need to confess anything, in my
exactly.
opinion.
Yeah. So since Miranda thinks that life would just be easier if she's in a couple, she attacks Sid and realizes she is in fact straight. So again, we're not going to talk about this again, but Sid confirms this for her, saying, "Yeah, you are." After the kiss, I don't know what this means. What are your thoughts?
I think that was Sid's comeback saying you're being an asshole because she is. Like, think about it
Yeah.
from Sid's perspective. You got set up with a woman. Okay, awesome. I've maybe she's seen Miranda around the office. She's pretty cute. She dresses like a lesbian. Sounds good. Let's go on a date. Then that lesbian looking woman says, "Actually, I'm straight. I'm." And it's like, "Okay, cool, no problem." But then
Yeah.
that same woman is like, "Let's go on a date." It's like, "Oh, okay, all right." So I've got this bi-curious woman wanting to go on this dinner date. Okay, all right. Sid is nice. Sid goes along for the ride.
Mhm.
Then at that party, this nice bi-curious woman makes a point of being like, "Oh no, 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 we're not together. I'm actually very straight." But Sid's gay. I'm gonna keep outing her. Sid's gay. Sid's the gay one. I'm not actually. So now you've been weirdly insulted slash outed at this
Right?
awful date. And
Yeah.
after she makes a point of making sure that everyone's crystal clear that we're not together, attacks you in the elevator for a kiss, and then says, "Oh yeah, I'm definitely straight."
So it had nothing, it
Excuse
wasn't the kiss
me? That
itself.
is so rude. So
Yeah,
I
it
think it was
wasn't the
just a
physical kiss itself. It
yeah.
was just reacting to all of it. I like that.
Yeah.
I
I don't think you could tell that it was a straight woman kissing you. No, she's not saying from the date. She's saying, yeah, this was straight woman behavior.
exactly. Yeah, this is just toxic behavior, and I don't want. We don't want you.
Like, yeah, this was so messy. Stay closeted, girl. We do not need this. So that's
Exactly.
what I think that was.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and just we're not having a discussion. Just nope, you're straight. Thanks. Bye.
That's what I think. Yeah.
I love
Oh,
that.
and she wears that outfit that's like a caricature of what she thinks a lesbian would wear on a dinner date. Although we do know that that actually is maybe what Miranda would have worn anyway.
Possibly, exactly. I was like, but Miranda did have that in her closet.
She did already have it in her closet. I'm just like, I
I
don't
know. She
know. It's
already
just
had
like
it in her
she's,
closet, so she remained in the closet.
yeah. She and her suits can stay in the closet for now. All her dinner
So
jackets,
Oliver, oh God, yeah. Ugh, oh God.
all her
So
vests. Stay
Charlotte
in
gets
the closet and count your vests, Miranda.
so Charlotte gets Sam home and on the couch, but they pass this very cute doorman, Tommy, on their way up. So a little bit later, a still drunk Samantha goes down in just her undergarments and a coat to seduce Tommy. She brings him upstairs where he scares the shit out of Charlotte in the hallway. What are your thoughts about this whole scene?
Oh, I love Tommy. He's adorable, and I kind of love the cute little interlude. Um, Screwing someone in your friend's apartment without permission, a little weird, but but I think this interlude with Charlotte and Tommy in the hallway is so funny. He's like,
It
"Don't be
is.
scared, miss." He's being so nice, and then he opens the bathroom door for her.
Oh, let me get that for you.
I think it's hilarious. I love this scene.
Oh, I know. I love it too. Like, for as screwed over as honestly, like Samantha kind of was in like the last two encounters that she had, right, with Capote Duncan, with Barkley, you're like, ew, don't do that. Here we can finally see her being a bit more in control of the situation and not just like going home with someone who's obviously toxic and ew. Like, yeah. So I like that, like, Samantha has all of her agency in this. I think it's still a little
Yeah.
bit more validation pouring over from last episode, but I do love it. Um, And speaking of things
Maybe,
that
but come on, Tommy was adorable.
I know, that's what I love.
You
I
would
would
have tried to
never.
hook up with Tommy. Come on.
I no, I would have. And this is why I've never like fully connected with Samantha because I would never have the audacity. I would
Oh,
never have
yeah.
the confidence level to just be like, "Hey, can I have a kiss?" Yeah, no, that is so not me. No,
I don't
I would
know. Let's go
100% like
trying to find some Irish doormen for you. See if we can work on this.
signing up. But like I would, I don't think I've ever. I would be like, "Oh, can I have a cigarette?" And like that's how I'd flirt. But then it turns into a drunken conversation. um, but before we move on, I am so jealous of Charlotte's bookshelves, and I love that she and Carrie have so many books.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Love it.
Yeah, it is like the only thing that I like about Charlotte in, up until and so far this season. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
Love it.
Carrie dumps Sean after his party, and he responds by saying, "I don't understand you women. All I hear is, I want to get married. I want to get married. And none of you says yes. What the fuck?" So is Sean dangerous?
I mean, I think we're on the same page with that. Yeah. Isn't that it felt like a flash of anger. Like
Yeah.
you women. I'm one woman. You and I did not work out. And what is this entitlement to women's attention and marriage? You feel entitled to a
Yes.
wife, and that is weird. That is some red flag controlling man behavior.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he's dangerous, to be honest, after that. Like, it's giving. Yeah, anytime a man feels that entitled to anything from a woman, but
Mm.
especially her entire life.
Yeah, right? Like her sovereignty, her agency, her relationship status. Ugh,
Yeah, it's weird. And it's like, you women always say you want a man. It's giving Skipper. Like, you always say that they want a nice man, but then they only like assholes. It's really giving that, and it's giving a dangerous attitude and a dangerous guy.
exactly. Yeah.
And desperate.
Unfortunately,
Real
yes.
desperate.
Yeah, that desperation that we already know that he has. And I mean, honestly, yeah, all of the signs were there. So yeah, I honestly, yeah, Carrie should have left way before this and not been alone with him in the apartment to dump him. You need to be around
Yeah.
people. You need to
I'm
think about
telling
your
you, I literally just said that it's terrible to ghost someone in a semi-serious relationship, but for it, ladies, if he's dangerous acting, ghost him. It's fine. Go ahead, ghost him, because
yeah.
your safety is number one.
Well, and honestly, yeah, this is kind of where I'm like, are they in a? I don't know if I would.
They've been on a few dates, it
They've
seems
been on a
like.
few dates, yeah, because I'm trying to think back. Like, I mean, Elizabeth and
And they
Tommy,
have mutual friends, so I can see not wanting it to go badly because of the mutual friends
kind of. I
situation.
mean, yeah,
But Carrie
Lisa
doesn't like
and
any of these
David
friends
aren't.
anyway. Who
Yeah, Lisa and
cares?
David aren't my friends anymore after setting me up with Sean, so they don't have mutual friends anymore. Um, but despite the obvious red flags, Carrie does set Sean up with Charlotte. So does this pairing make sense on paper?
I mean, kind of. If you exclude him being
Red
kind
flag?
of dangerous, they're both desperate for marriage. They both really like real estate.
Yeah, like they do have a lot in common. So it does make sense if you're in the moment only thinking about your safety and you're like, oh, I know someone who I can set you up with. Unfortunately, it is one of her closest friends.
I think Carrie didn't feel like that was a red flag. I think she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. You're
I
right."
mean,
And which is a
absolutely.
crazy
Yeah.
response, but
Yeah. I mean, because like we all, like, I think about myself in this situation. You're not, it's really difficult to count those red flags in the moment when it's happening.
I energy is a lot for me though, and if somebody's giving me aggressive energy, if someone's giving you aggressive energy at the dating phase, imagine.
Exactly. Yeah,
Imagine how much worse it's going to get. This is him on his best behavior. And if he's giving you and aggression towards women in general, dangerous. Yeah.
yeah.
But I
Um,
think I don't even think we're not supposed to think that though. I think we're really supposed to think that his frustration is justified and that this could be that through that 2025 lens, right? I think
exactly.
we were supposed to be sympathetic to him.
Yeah.
But it's so not sympathetic to me.
Well, and I think that the good thing is like, I don't think we're necessarily supposed to be sympathetic, but we aren't not supposed to, but like, we're not supposed to be 2025 lens, right? Red flag, red flag, red flag, right? So, like, we don't have to be
Mhm.
sympathetic to him, but we have to at least be like, I understand where he's coming from, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
understanding of it maybe. Okay.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
luckily, Charlotte ends up dumping him after a few dates anyway, because they go to look at China patterns. And she hates the pattern that he chooses, which is American classic. Now, do you know anything about China patterns?
No, I know nothing about China patterns.
Okay, good. Yeah, I literally had to make it up. I was like, I don't know what American classic versus like kind of understand
I
because
do know the one he picked is ugly.
exactly. I was like, I get it. It's ugly. But then
It's
you're
really
like, oh,
bad.
French countryside. I don't know what
Yeah, I
that
don't really know what that
means.
means. I don't know what that
And
means.
then when you see them side by side, you're like, oh shit, yeah, definitely. Now, would you date someone because of their taste in China patterns or decor?
Would I dump someone or date someone?
Um,
Dump someone. Oh, 100%. We could just leave it at that, but I do have an explanation. It's not just the China pattern, right? It's the inflexibility. It's if he's like, "Oh, this is what we're getting. Cut it. Mm-mm, mm-mm." There cannot be two particular people in this relationship. If he
yeah,
had been like, because Jason would do this, my partner would do this. He'd be like, "Oh, I like that one because it's the loudest," and I'd be like, "That's cute. We're getting that one."
exactly. Yeah,
Like you're allowed to
especially
have an opinion, but you're not allowed to be like, "This is the decision."
exactly. Yeah,
So,
I love
and
that.
if he feels this rigid about an ugly ass China pattern, imagine what else he's going to be controlling of.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
So
the
yeah,
nice thing is
not dump him
we'll,
now.
yeah, right? I know. It's another like and that's why I love that like Charlotte did the right thing by just being like, okay, good. I know this now. Bye. Which again, Carrie should have done, not waiting until the end of the night. Should have been immediate.
When she saw the baby room.
Exactly. So as Charlotte walks home, she passes Tommy, who's very upset about Sam not calling him after their sexual encounter. Do we feel bad for Tommy?
Yes, I do.
I know Tommy is adorable.
I know. Why wouldn't she call him back?
Or at least not tell him that you're going to call him back. Don't
Yeah,
tell him you're going to, especially when you know you're not. Like, oh, hey,
poor
honey, that
Tommy.
was great. And then send him on his way.
Yeah, yeah.
So we wrap up the episode with all of the girls gathering at the same theater that Carrie went earlier during her Sean dates. So on the marquee, we see posters for Quest for Camelot or Godzilla. Which one do you think they saw?
Okay, Quest for Camelot is animated, right?
Yes, it's a children's movie.
Yeah, it's a so I guess Godzilla. As much as I feel like they wouldn't see that, but I'm also just not that big of a movie buff, and I think Godzilla is kind of an iconic movie, so I think it
Not
is.
this
Or
Godzilla.
series. Not this one.
So Godzilla itself, right? The Japanese Godzilla
That one's
is
iconic.
iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but not necessarily the. Are
Oh
they
no.
remakes or are they
Mhm.
continuations?
No. So because those were Japanese, right? They were like, "Oh, let's have an American version." And the Japanese were basically like not even really involved in the development. Not
Okay.
like they will be after this movie because of what they did with it. But
Oh, okay.
still, like, even if it's iconic, this group of women,
That's a weird choice.
it's such a weird choice.
Such a weird choice.
Um, but speaking of weird choices, we close the episode with Aretha Franklin's Respect playing over the narration. Now, do you like the song?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, we love this song, right?
Yeah, love that song.
Does it make sense to close this episode with?
Not even a little bit. Okay. Cause who is supposed to be saying this?
Yeah, that's why it's like,
That's what's confusing. Like if they
yeah,
did the Otis Redding version and it's still from a man's perspective, then this whole song is kind of Sean's perspective, right? Like I'm about to give you my money, so you better respect me and marry me, women. Like, is that it?
right?
But the women's perspective version of the song, you know, doesn't make a lick of sense.
At
Don't
all.
get why they closed with that song.
Exactly. Yeah. And part of me is like, um, if this had started playing immediately after, uh, like, because it's used really well in like Bridget Jones's Diary, right? Where
Hmm.
she's like, "Hey, then you can kiss my ass," and then
Yeah,
like a whole like montage. I can't remember if it's this
but
song
who's
specifically,
demanding
but
respect here?
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if Charlotte had dumped Sean, and then we're like, "Ooh, we're gonna play Respect," maybe. But
Yeah.
no, not this. Yeah, not this. Not what actually happens in the episode.
No.
So before we wrap things up, what are your final thoughts about the Bay of Married Pigs?
There is so much that happens in this episode. I feel like we've talked in circles. It's so much happens. But for me, this is a mandatory rewatch. Even when I'm doing an abridged rewatch, which I will do sometimes, like when I went to New York, I was like, okay, I just want to get
Oh
amped.
yeah,
I
just like
include this episode. I
okay.
include this one. This one's a mandatory one for me, partly because of the peppermill joke.
Oh yeah,
Also, Miranda's battle with compulsive heterosexuality, which is how I view this episode. And Carrie deciding whether marriage is for her or not. This is really the beginning of her debating that, and it continues to be a debate for her throughout our journey with Carrie. So
yeah, yeah. I do like how much we set up this episode for a
for
lot of
later.
character traits. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and again, like you look at like the previous episode, which is very problematic, and even I think the first episode is a little bit like okay, and so I think that we start to actually understand who these women are much better.
Yeah, I'm starting to relate to these
Yeah,
women in this episode. I'm starting
exactly.
to, because I'm really relating to Carrie's. Is marriage for me? I'm
Hmm.
relating to not not how this episode is framed with Miranda's struggle, but I see this as Miranda wrestling with her sexuality early on.
Hmm.
So
I know. I wish
through
that
that
that would have
lens,
been a through line.
this episode has the red clogs.
Fucking red clogs.
No, I this episode is all over the place, which I feel like might be this director's style, and
Yeah,
it's so over the place, but I like it. It's a really good episode.
I love that. Well, thank you again for joining me today.
Thank you for
So
having
much
me.
fun. And thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Stay in the City. I'll be here every week discussing my favorite show. If you did enjoy yourself, leave a comment telling me your favorite thing about Bay of Married Pigs. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and go check out my breakdowns on YouTube as well, also at Stay in the City. And tune in next week for the Valley of the 20 something guys. Bye.